Everybody, John Pojeta here with PT. Welcome back to PT Ask Dan with Dan Hudak. How are we, Dan?
I'm doing good. Hello, John.
So let's talk about challenging prospects. So one of the things that comes up and where it started for me in the sales environment, early on, I was taught that mentality of, hey, client and prospect, they're always right, go along with, and you'll get to where you want to go. About 8 years ago now, I read a book called The Challenger Sale, and it really changed my thinking with sales and how I go about a conversation with a prospect, especially, and knowing where and when to push back, have some pattern interrupt to what they're used to experiencing with a salesperson, and really putting them in a position where they have to think something through and not just sort of regurgitate what they typically do with a salesperson. And it's really helped change the dynamic in the conversations I have and how people engage with me now. So talk a little bit about challenging, when to do it, when not. You can't do it constantly because people are tired of constantly having everything challenged, but how to be specific about it or strategic about it is probably a better way to say it.
Well, one of the first rules is we need to quit being a people pleaser and start being an expert.
Yeah.
And experts behave, act, talk, think differently. So, for example, if someone says, "Hey, send me a quote," most salespeople will go, "Oh, happy to do that. And here's what I need from you in order to do it." An expert or someone who really has a lot of value in themselves might say, "Well, why would I do that? I mean, you're not ready to make a switch." And again, that's an interrupt that changes things. Let me give you another example. You show up at an office for a 1 hour meeting, and 15 minutes into your wait at the waiting room, the person still hasn't come out. What do most salespeople do? They stay there. What if you just told the receptionist, "Hey, look, obviously this isn't going to work. Why don't we reschedule?" And you leave? That's an expert. That's a player, so to speak. And I'll give you one last example. I had a friend of mine who was calling on a CEO of a pretty good sized company. And as he was walking up to the office building, there were goose droppings all over the sidewalk. And he meets the CEO, and the CEO goes, "How's your morning going?" And the guy goes, "Horrible. I got goose dropping stuff all over my shoes from your sidewalk." And the CEO is like, "I keep telling him to keep those geese off that." It was a great bonding move. And I think at the end of the day, who else talks to CEOs like that?
Yeah.
No one, unless you're the expert.
Yeah, and it changed as we talked prior to doing this little piece this morning. You mentioned the whole idea of that C-suite and the fact that they're used to being told what they want to hear, and they don't get challenged as frequently by their employees that are in-house or salespeople coming in from outside because of the position they're in. And when you challenge and you push back strategically, it really just alters how they view you and can change everything.
Absolutely.
So great advice. Thanks so much, Dan. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
All right. Goodbye.